Oh my gosh. What? Do you see that? Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a full face of nothing new video. I do this series on my channel pretty often. I like to do this pretty often because for me and hopefully for you guys, it's always very therapeutic to just sit down and play with makeup that I already have. We're not going to be reviewing anything today. And I was going through my collection earlier today trying to figure out what I wanted to film, and I came across specifically like my Clinique foundations, and it made me just want to do a full face of nothing new, basically inspired by those foundations because it's been a while since I've worn them, and I remember really loving them for a time. Like, it was all I was wearing for a while, so I want to reach back into my Clinique products a little bit, and then I just grabbed a bunch of other products that I'm super excited about. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I really wanted to do something that was going to be pretty eye focused. I'm just going to clip my hair back really quick. And I actually grabbed this palette right here. So Alamar Cosmetics makes these little cutie palettes, and this wild berry one really stuck out to me. So I'm wanting to play with these deep berry tones. I want to do something super dramatic, and I also want to keep the skin looking fresh. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start off with my brows, even though I will probably touch them up later. I grabbed this brow pencil. It's been a while since I've used this. This is the brow definer from Anastasia, and I have the shade medium brown. So I'm just going to fill in the brows with this. I'm not going to worry about it being too perfect yet because, again, usually I will touch up my brows after my foundation's gone on. So I'm just wanting to get like a decent shape. Okay, that's as good as it's gonna get for now. Okay, I'm gonna try something that I always see one of my favorite makeup artists on Instagram do, and that's to use some sort of like an eyeliner to define the outer portion first, and then you layer eyeshadows on top. So, you know, these videos are also fun for me because I feel like I can try new things, and since we're not reviewing anything necessarily, it's more about just trying new techniques if I feel like it. So I'm going to take the Nabla Cupid's Arrow Full Color Stilo. Now this is like an eyeshadow crayon, and I'm just going to kind of block this out where I want it, which is basically right there. And then I'm going to take my ColourPop E25 brush, and I'm going to start buffing this out. And normally when I watch Nikki Makeup do this, that's the person that always does this, I feel like, in her tutorials, it usually looks a little bit funny initially, and then once the eyeshadows are layered on top, it makes more sense. So I'm hoping that that's the case with me too. I'm adding a little more into the crease and a little more on this outer edge. This product seems to be working pretty well for this though. It's blending nicely. I'm just going to do the same thing over on this eye. And I'm doing the same thing again, just layering it up a little bit more on that outer edge and then also into the crease. I'm just trying to get it to match this other eye in intensity before I move on to the next step. All right, so we're gonna dip into the Nabla Cutie palette. I'm gonna start off with the deep shade called Blackberry, which is not what I normally do. I normally kind of blend in these deeper shades at the end, but I'm wanting to kind of intensify that shape on the outer corner first. Same thing on the other eye. This is such an intense color, and it's intensified even more because we already applied that purple base. Next, I'm going to dip into this gorgeous shade called Botanic Juice, and I'm wanting to start to kind of blend this in this open area on this outer portion of the lid, just to start to add a little bit of dimension here. I'm actually going to bring what's left on the brush and start to fill in the area right here of open space toward the inner corner, just for like a little bit of a base, but I'm going to apply a shimmer shade there mainly, so I'm not going to overdo it. All right, we're going to take this gorgeous shade right here, and I'm going to use an E24 brush from ColourPop. This is from the most recent brush set that they launched. I'll have it linked down below, but I'm just going to apply this over top of that matte shade I just applied, kind of focusing it, again, just on that open space or negative space between the purple shadow and eyeshadow pencil. Same thing over on this eye, and I'm just gently building this up, kind of using pressing motions to really make sure that pigment is showing up. I'm the most excited to apply this shade called Alchemy 2.0. I'm just going to take that on the same brush, and I'm going to layer this right on top. Again, starting most of the pigment in the inner portion, and then as we move toward the center of the lid, I'm feathering it out a little bit. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. That really just took things to the next level. And I'm using a brush, which normally I use my finger to apply these. I just wanted a little more precision initially. I might layer it in even more with my finger in just a second, but this is so beautiful. Yeah, I'm just gonna see the difference when I use a finger for this Alchemy shade. I'm gonna press that kind of close to the lash line on that inner portion to really give that area the most dimension. All right, I'm gonna take a tissue and just kind of dab off the brush I used with this shade right here. And I'm going to super, super lightly take what's left on this brush and just bring that color a little higher underneath the brow, but I don't want it to be too intense or too dark, so I'm seriously using the lightest amount of pressure to help kind of fade that up a little bit higher into the brow area. Okay, I really like how things are looking so far. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm trying to decide. I think I am going to clean up the fallout and then we will apply mascara. So I'm just gonna take a makeup wipe and I'm gonna gently sweep away the fallout along the edge. I kind of like that little bit of a more rough edge that I created, so I don't want to take that away. So I'm not doing like a full-on line. I'm just kind of cleaning up around the perimeters. For mascara, I wanted to use my Wander Beauty Unlashed Mascara. I'm going to really try to build this up because this eyeshadow definitely needs more of a bold lash in front of it. So I might be here for a minute trying to really create some voluminous lashes. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of this before we move on to Complexion. This is from ColourPop. It's their Super Shock Shadow in the shade Ice Dream. It's one of my favorites that they make. I'm going to add that into the inner corner of the eye. It has the most gorgeous kind of blue, pink, purple iridescence to it, or glitter specks in it. I'm actually going to take a tiny bit of that on my finger. You can kind of see the iridescence there. I should have done this before mascara, but I forgot. I'm going to add that just in that inner portion again. I feel like that just made things so much better. I didn't think it could get much better, but this one is just so beautiful. All right, now we're talking. I think that looks so pretty. Okay, again, I'm just gonna make sure there's not too many pieces of glitter underneath the eyes. Okay, when it came to the Clinique base, I knew I wanted to also use this as a primer. This is from Clinique as well. It's their Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion. This was also my go-to primer for a while, earlier this year, I think it was. I don't remember, it's been a while. But I wanted to use this underneath the Clinique foundation, so I'm just going to apply it all over the skin. There's no like iridescence to this or anything. It's basically just a lotion, but it works so well under makeup. I'm dragging that down the neck as well so that everything is nice and hydrated. Now I grabbed both of my Clinique foundations that I really love. I didn't know which one I wanted to use, but I think I want to go with my Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer just because this is turning out to be a very glam look and I want my skin to be super even toned. This one does give really good coverage as well, but this one's a little bit more glam. So I have the shade WN01 Flax. It has been so long since I've used this. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this all over the face. And even though it says it's a foundation and concealer, I'm just gonna use it as a foundation today. I'm gonna take my Zoeva foundation brush and I'm gonna start to blend this out. I seriously love the coverage that this gives, but it looks so good on the skin. And I can't quite remember how it wears on me, but I know it wears well because again, I used this consecutively for a long time, a few months back. So I'm excited to see how it wears again and be reminded of how much I like it. Okay, after that's blended out, I'm just gonna go in with my sponge and I'm actually gonna take a tiny bit of that foundation. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand and I'm gonna take my sponge and pick up that foundation off the back of my hand. This just helps kind of create a little bit of a barrier between the sponge picking up coverage while I try to press it into the skin. So I'm just taking that all over the face. Again, just making sure to really press it into the skin for the most natural finish. I'm also dragging a little bit down the neck. For concealer, I wanted to use my Dose of Colors concealer. I have mine in the shade Light 09. I normally use the shade 08, but I couldn't find it. It might be packed somewhere. So I'm just gonna take this under the eyes, on the chin a little, and I am actually gonna use it over blemishes too. Normally I try to do like 2 different shades for over blemishes, but this shade should work for everything. I'm also gonna put a little on the forehead and take some down the center of the nose as well. And then I'm going to press that into the skin with the same sponge. Okay, I'm going to take my By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. It's a very, very finely milled loose powder, but I like it because it's pretty much undetectable on the skin. I'm just going to tap off the excess. It gets very messy though, but I'm just going to take that and set the under eye area. I definitely prefer the newer pressed version of this powder. It's just so much easier to work with, but I wanted to use this one again since it's been a while. And I still do really love this one. But the pressed one, again, is just so much easier to work with. Since it is so finely milled, I feel like sometimes it can look like it's sitting on top of the skin initially. As you wear it throughout the day, it won't look like that, but regardless, I usually like to take my sponge and just kind of gently press over the powder to let it just kind of melt into the skin even more. Okay, let's finish up the lower lash line. I'm going to take that same Cupid's Arrow shadow pen thing from Nabla, and I'm just going to do one eye at a time actually. I'm going to take the same brush I used to blend it out on the top lid, and I'm going to buff this out across the entire lower lash line, but I'm focusing it on that outer edge. Do the same thing on the other eye. I'm glad I chose to use these little eyeshadow crayon things. I've tried to use them a couple of times, but this is the first time I feel like I'm giving them a fair shot, and I really like how they're applying. All right, now that that is blended out, these come in a lot of different shades, by the way, so it makes me excited to try the other shades. All right, we're gonna dip back into the Nabla Wild Berry Cutie palette, starting off with that first shimmer shade. This time I'm gonna use a setting spray. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray to wet the brush. I just really want to try to avoid as much fallout as possible under the eye. So now that that's damp, I'm going to go ahead and run this across the lower lash line, starting in the inner portion, and then I'm going about 3/4 of the way across the under eye. This color looks especially gorgeous with a damp brush. Wow. It has a really cool shift to it actually that I didn't really notice on the top lid, but it looks so good on that lower lash line. All right, same thing, but I'm gonna dip into Alchemy 2.0, which is such an amazing shade as well. And I'm just gonna get that on the brush first and then spray it with the setting spray. And I really want this focused on that inner third. This one also looks really cool with a damp brush. All right, I'm gonna take the brush we used, remember, for that Botanic Juice shade, and I'm literally just gonna take it and buff whatever's left on the edges of that lower lash line. I'm not adding anything else to it. I just want to kind of buff things out a little more to make that edge a little softer and smoky. I'm going to go back into my ColourPop Ice Dream Super Shock Shadow. I'm going to take that on the ColourPop E29 brush, and I'm just going to intensify that inner corner and connect it to the lower lash line slightly. I just think it's the prettiest color and I want more of it in that inner corner. I seriously feel like the studio lights aren't even doing this justice. It's so pretty in person. All right, I'm gonna take my Wander Beauty Unlashed Mascara and I'm going to apply that on the lower lashes. Okay, after applying mascara, I feel like something needs to happen in the waterline. So I'm taking the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the shade Vice. If you're following along or using what you have, just use any deep colored pencil for the waterline. If you have a purple one, great. If not, like a deep blue would look good too, or even a dark brown or black, but I just want to stick to the purple theme. All right, I'm just taking my powder brush and gently sweeping away the fallout again. Since we were using so much glitter, there was a little bit from the lower lash line, but nothing crazy. I'm gonna go back in gently with my sponge just to make sure everything is still intact. All right, now we're going to just warm up the complexion. I'm gonna use this bronzer from Honest Beauty. It's the Dusk Reflection Luminizing Glow Powder. I'm gonna take that on this ColourPop F28 brush, and we're just gonna start warming things up. As always, I'm just taking this around like the perimeter of the face, on the cheeks, and this has a bit of a glow to it. Most of like the complexion products like bronzer, blush, and highlighter, I picked stuff that had a little bit of an iridescence. I don't know, I just felt like a really nice glowy complexion might look good with a more intense like smoky eye. We'll see if it looks good in the end. I like how this bronzer is not too overpowering. I think it gives just the right amount of color to the complexion without looking like it's over the top which is what I think this look needs, again, because I want the eyes to be the focal point. I don't want anything else to look like too much or to be distracting. Now, normally I go in with highlighter first, but I found this in my collection and I don't think I've ever used it. So I know this is like a full face of nothing new, but this is not new, but it is because I haven't used it before. So this is the NARS blush in the shade Bumpy Ride, and it looks pretty iridescent. I swatched it on the back of my hand before choosing it, and I just kind of want to see what it looks like on the complexion. And that's why I'm applying it before highlighter, because it might be super glowy to the point where we might not need a highlighter. So I'm just applying this on the cheeks with my ColourPop F30 brush. Oh my gosh, do you see that glow? Why have I not used this before? It's literally been sitting in my collection for forever, and I didn't buy this. This must have been sent to me, I don't even know when, a long time ago. Oh my gosh, yeah, we don't even need highlight. That is stunning. My one zit over here, you know, wish it wasn't there, but it's not gonna stop me from wearing glowy blush today because I feel like it. All right, I'm gonna take my sponge and just press over that, and I'm hoping that it will kind of add to that gorgeous glow even more. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. What? Do you see that? That is so nice. I really love it. All right, I might still apply a little highlighter down the center of the face because I don't want that blush on my nose, obviously. I'm gonna take the Honest Beauty Luminizing Glow Powder in the shade Midnight Reflection. This is one of my very favorite highlighters. And I'm gonna take that down the center of the nose and on the Cupid's bow to highlight. And you know what? We'll put a little bit above the brows. And maybe just because I'll put just a teensy bit on this very, very outer V right here. But the center of the face is super glowy, so I don't feel like I need it there. All right, let's wipe off any foundation that got on the lips. I knew exactly what lip combo I wanted to wear, and that is from Alamar Cosmetics. It's the Birthday Suit lip liner and lip gloss. It's incredible, and it goes with everything. So I'm going to apply the lip liner first, which that alone looks so nice, but then the gloss just really elevates it. So again, this is also from Alamar Cosmetics. It's the lip gloss in the shade Birthday Suit. It's seriously the perfect nude combo. All right, I feel like our brows need a little bit of attention again, which I knew would happen, but that's okay. I still like to do my brows in the beginning because I need to kind of know where to apply my eyeshadow if I'm doing my eyes first. So it doesn't bother me if I need to kind of sharpen things up at the end of the makeup look. Okay, I think that looks a little better. I'm going back over the entire complexion with my sponge one more time. That blush, you guys. Oh my gosh. I want to apply even more. It's so beautiful. I'm going to take a tiny bit and apply it right above the brows a little, just to tie in the tones. I like to do that sometimes. Okay, let's assess the situation. I'm going to take what's left on the bronzer brush and just sweep that on the forehead a little bit more. But I like how soft the bronzer is with this look. I am dragging it down the neck though to make sure the colors kind of match. But with the bold eye, I like how fresh and soft the colors are on the face, including the blush. I think that worked out really well. All right, let's set the face. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Gonna give things a good spritz so it lasts all day. So I love how this turned out, so I don't want it to budge. I get my handy fan. And this setting spray you can kind of feel when it starts to dry down. It feels like it's locking in your makeup, but somehow it doesn't feel too tight. It's a very interesting formula. I really like it. And I'm just gonna take my sponge across the entire complexion really gently one last time. And then I wanted to use my M Cosmetics Clear Brow Gel. I forgot that I had this until I found it in my brow drawer, so I honestly can't even remember what I think about it, which is another reason why I love doing these videos, because it kind of reminds me of what I already have that I like, or even the other way around. Like if I try it again and it's not my favorite, then it helps me know what to kind of pass on to friends and family. I like how soft and fluffy that made my brows look though. I feel like I'm just so used to my Benefit 24-hour brow gel, which is like super glue. So if anything is not as strong initially as far as like the hold goes, maybe it's just a mental game for me, but like I all of a sudden immediately think that it doesn't work when that might not be the case. So the point is, I feel like that brow gel is kind of feeling more soft initially on the brows. So my initial reaction is like, oh, I don't think I like this, but we're gonna wait a little longer and see how I feel later. I feel like my T-zone needs another powder because that By Terry one is so lightweight and basically undetectable, and I'm just noticing that I want a little bit of like smoothness right here. I'm gonna go grab something. I don't know what I'm gonna get yet, but I just want something to kind of smooth out that T-zone. Okay, so I literally just grabbed the most random powder. This is the Laura Mercier Pressed Translucent Powder. I can't remember what this looks like on the skin. I can't remember if it even blurs things at all. We're just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna kind of pinch the brush and press it all along the T-zone, including in the center of the forehead. I feel like that smoothed things out a little. Now it has a little bit of a powdery finish, so I'm just going over everything one more time. I know I always say one more time, but this is the last time. I just like to do that to take away any powdery finish because that's a dead giveaway. And even though I love to use powders, I love to set my face, I don't want it to look like it's set, you know? All right, you guys, so that completes this makeup look. I've got my phone flashlight here. I really just want to try to see if you guys can see how beautiful that glitter is. Can you kind of tell? These lights don't do it justice, so just know that in dim light, this looks so sparkly, which I love. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I loved using these products again. I really like how my complexion turned out. It makes me want to use my Clinique foundations more often. I need to use them more often. That blush, this is like next level, you guys. I have always been a fan of NARS blushes. I honestly have no idea where this came from, but I love how soft it is, but also how glowy it is. If you don't like glowy blushes, you will not like this, but if you want kind of a two-in-one situation, it reminds me of the Hourglass blushes in the sense that it gives you that same kind of lit from within glow. I'm just in love with it. I'm really excited about that. It makes me want to try more NARS blushes. I feel like I might be missing out on some other shades. Filming this video also got me really excited about the Nabla Cupid's Arrow pencils again. I feel like I finally gave them a fair shot, and I love the base that it created for the shape of my eyeshadow today, so I'm really excited about that too. Yeah, overall, that was a fun video to film. This lip combo, I'm so happy that I'm able to wear it again. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it from me today. Hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!